Welcome to CEO Money. I'm Michael Yorba. Thanks for joining us. Today's guest is William Fredericks. We call him Bill around here, founder and CEO of Advanced Aircraft Company. All right, Bill, welcome to the show. Thanks for showing up.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
All right, my pleasure. You've got a unique company. Give our audience a feel for what it is that you do with your company and how it separates you from the rest of the people in your field.
Yeah, great question. So the key value proposition, or let me first say, we're going to manufacture long endurance drones. Why is long endurance important? So we're the manufacturer, our customer is the operator. The operator flies drones and they sell data by the acre. They pay their pilots by the hour. So utilization is a key metric of interest. And with the battery-powered drones on the market today, they're only gathering about 3.5 hours worth of productive data in an 8-hour workday. So with a drone like ours, it spends more time up in the air taking data, less time needing to swap batteries, and they can dramatically improve their utilization. So their cost per acre to acquire data could improve by up to 45%, which is a huge margin for a services industry.
What is the technology that allows your drones to fly better than the competition's, or longer, I should say?
Yeah, there are two key technologies. The first one is the propulsion system. So the drones of today, they're battery powered. Ours is unique. It's a hybrid electric propulsion system. Think of like a hybrid car. Not a plug-in hybrid, just a normal hybrid car where you put more fuel in it, but it has an engine that turns a generator and batteries with electric motors, so it can fly dramatically longer. So you got the energy of liquid fuels as opposed to the energy of batteries. The other factor is we have a number of aerodynamic efficiency improvements that improve the aerodynamic efficiency relative to conventional drones too.
All right, now when you got into this business, it came from somewhere. Give us some background on color on that.
Yeah, great question. So my background, I went to Purdue, got a degree in aeronautical engineering, then worked for NASA as an aerospace engineer. And one of the technologies I worked on at NASA was called the NASA Grease Lightning. And that was a UAV that could take off and land vertically, yet convert into very efficient wing-borne flight. I designed that aircraft and led that project all the way through its flight testing phase. And we flew it. We proved that technology was feasible. We put the aircraft quite literally up on a shelf, broke up the team, went to go work the next job. And I said to myself, as a government researcher, I'm sort of advancing the industry by pushing on a rope. What I really need to do is start a business and commercialize the technology to move the industry forward. And that was sort of my impetus to leave my position at NASA and start the company.
All right. What are you working on now? Because I know that you've got a UAS product that you're currently developing. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so at NASA, we developed the Grease Lightning, and my initial goal with Advanced Aircraft Company was to go straight to that product. Doing some business planning, I realized I need to raise $6 to $8 million before we could generate a penny of revenue with that product line. A very tough startup proposition. So we decided to pivot. And the pivot is this other aircraft called Hammer, Hybrid Advanced Multirotor. And from a business perspective, the value it applies to AAC is that we don't need nearly as much startup capital. We can get it into production on a much shorter timeline. And so when we go raise the big money to develop Grease Lightning, we can say we're not a startup. We already have this drone product in production today. These are the corporate books and how we run a business. Let's raise this bigger money on better terms from the investor.
When you say bigger money, what's the number?
Yeah, for Grease Lightning, it'll be about $6 to $8 million before development of that aircraft is finished.
Okay. You alluded to the value proposition. Is there any more detail on that before we move on to how you're going to scale your company?
Yeah, so the value proposition I mentioned was for our first product, Hammer. If we look at Grease Lightning is a truly revolutionary capability. It gets the aerodynamic performance of a normal fixed wing airplane and is vertical takeoff and landing. So when we look at useful market segments, what could you use that for? And more specifically, what's an application that has no drone in production today that could meet it? So here's one particular anecdote: natural gas pipeline inspections. So if you talk to the gas companies, they say they lose 3% in distribution. Some government resources say the leakage rate is upwards of 10% in distribution. Let's just assume the actual leakage rate is 4%, just for this conversation. If you take 4% times the quantity of natural gas sold in the United States every year, times the price per cubic foot of natural gas, that's $4.2 billion leaking into our atmosphere every year in this country alone. So you ask yourself, why aren't we fixing the leaks? And there's millions of miles of pipelines. It's unrealistic for a person to walk down the pipelines with methane sensors to find the leaks. What if instead you had a magic carpet? And let's just assume you can put your methane sensor on a magic carpet. In order to get a low cost per mile, you'd want your magic carpet to go very quickly down that linear infrastructure. The problem with going fast is you'll be getting false positives, and you'll be sending your survey crew out to fix leaks that aren't really there. So you'd also want your magic carpet to stop and stare, take a closer look, confirm or deny whether there is or is not a leak, and then accelerate back out and go down that pipeline again. Well, that magic carpet is what grease lightning is. It'll be able to survey hundreds of miles of pipeline per day and find those leaks. So, and I would suggest that we could find and repair those leaks for dramatically less price than $4.2 billion per year.
Brilliant, brilliant. All right, Bill, I know that it's our holiday week. I thank you for being on the show and taking the time to be here. We'll be in touch real soon to find out new advancements and new products that you're bringing out to the market.
Well, thank you very much, and happy Independence Day.
All right, thanks, Bill. We'll talk to you soon.
Very good. Thank you. Bye.
You've been watching CEO Money with Michael Yorba. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and sign up with our YouTube station. Thank you.